You could lose everything if you aren't prepared for an economic collapse at all times. Many people lose their job during financial crisis, even if they thought they were safe. In the worst case scenario, the most money they save up for retirement can be halved, and they might be even lost their house. All of these have the potential to long-term negative effects on one's health and to cause problems in one's personal relationships. When the economy is doing well, and has been for some time, it's ready to ignore bad times. However, downturn should never be downplayed under any circumstances. For those fortunate enough to be financially secure, an economic crisis provides a wealth of advantages. They may be able to acquire wealth far beyond their wildest dreams as a result of this. To seize opportunities that come your way, learn how to effectively plan for bad times. Funds, financial planning, and making investments are all subjects in which I have experience teaching. If you'd like to see more videos like this in the future, please make sure to subscribe to this channel and give it a thumbs up if you found it useful. Economic activity declines for over a few months during recession. Inflation when the prices go up and dollar weakens. Deflation when the prices comes down and the dollar buys more. High interest rates and problems with lending could all contribute to this. More people get laid off and businesses file for bankruptcy as a result of these problems. Some people even lost their homes. The stock market often falls as a result of investor panic and loss of confidence, causing them to remove their funds from the market altogether. To enhance your financial situation at any moment in the economic cycle, it's important to develop the habit of spending less than you earn. Saving for the future and paying off debt are both done with a difference between your take-home pay and your out-of-pocket expenses. In the end, this leads to an endless process of just hardly living by because so many individuals make the mistake of constantly increasing their spending commensurately with their earnings. In the event of a salary increase, the money is instantly spent on the purchase of an entire new car or the purchase of a bigger house. Their tax refund has already been spent on holiday by the time it reaches them. It's possible that when you hear the phrase, "live below your means," a few words come to mind, such as dull or monotonous. There are, however, so many big improvements that will take place in your life when you start to do this. It's a well-known fact that a typical millionaire has 7 different sources of income. Because they have multiple of jobs, they don't rely on one income to cover their housing loans, car loans, and all other expenses. If one of your sources of income disappears, you won't have to stress as much. Even if something terrible happens, you can still pay your bills if you do 2 things: live within your means and diversify your sources of income. The possibility of losing one income stream is perhaps the greatest benefit of having multiple sources of income that pay you on a regular basis. On the weekends and weeknights, for example, a person working from 9 to 5 starts a side business detailing cars. Customers are waiting in line to have their cars detailed, providing that the venture is a success. It's a much better job in terms of earning per hour than a 9 to 5 job. They've been able to give up their regular full-time jobs and focus solely on their detailing business, making twice or even 3 times as much money each year as they had previously earned. Debt repayment isn't always the best option. To put it another way, it makes financial sense to make the minimum payouts on debts with low interest rates while paying off high interest debts as quickly as possible. The money you save by not paying off low interest loans could be put to better use by investing it to earn a return greater than the interest you're currently paying. What if you could earn a 10% return on your extra money instead of paying off mortgage with 3% interest rate? This is logical from a mathematical perspective. However, some people disregard the fact that your monthly expenses will be extremely low if you have no or very few debts. Compared to someone who is in deep debt, your monthly expenses will be much lower when you don't have to settle your car loan payments, student loans, payment on credit cards, or a housing loan. As a result, you will be better prepared in the wake of the financial crisis and the associated dangers. Don't get distracted by the fact that you'll be able to sleep soundly at night. You've made a few purchases that you come to regret. Do you know that brand new car you bought, the one with all the dings and mechanical problems, and the one that's now worth next to nothing? What about the timeshare you were sold on a vacation? Or the lavish wedding you hosted for your now former spouse? Spending money on such higher tickets items, if they're important to you, is fine, as long as they're bringing you joy. However, the issue arises when people like you and me routinely make large and small purchases without having second thought. A wipe out on your bank account is pretty much assured if you continue spend money on things you won't use after some time. When you lose your job or see the value of your retirement savings plummet due to market collapse, you'll wonder where all of your hard-earned money goes. Your future self will thank you if you take your time before deciding whether or not to spend a fortune on an expensive item. Additionally, you'll get more value for your money but not deciding to buy something that you'll regret soon. There is a sense of doom and gloom when the market drops or during a recession. Is everything going to return to normal? According to Acorns, the average recession lasts around 1.5 years and occurs every 4 years. Bear markets occurs almost every 3.5 years, seeing stocks fall over 20% and then last between 9 and 10 months with an average stock market drop of around 35%. In other words, the stock market drops an average of 35% every 3.5 years. In any event, it usually recovers with a year. Losing a significant portion of your investment portfolio's value, especially as you grow older and find it increasingly difficult to replace that money, can be frightening. The money you've worked hard for is practically disappearing. On the other hand, the historical context make it easier to deal with the current situation. Given that the market is subject to volatility, we advise you to diversify your holdings and avoid holding anything that you might not want to keep if the market takes a turn for the worse. Always use a reasonable amount of leverage. To put it another way, don't take on more debt than you can afford to repay at any given time, regardless of the market conditions. How would you fare if the economy went downhill and you decided to buy stocks on the open market on credit? Has your financial situation changed since you made this decision? What about your mortgage debt, which allowed you to obtain or borrow against a large portion of your home's value, leaving you with little to no equity? Even though you can afford the payments now, what happens if you lose money? As long as you don't over-leverage and consider each market cycle, borrowing money has the potential to be a smart move. If the market or economic system is in a bad state, there are more opportunities for profit to be made. According to Warren Buffett, be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful is a bit of wise advice to follow. When an asset reclaims its all-time high, investors who are well positioned to buy at a reduced rate are often richly rewarded. When it comes to investing, buy low, sell high is a common adage that can be applied to the market. While market timing is extremely difficult, investing stocks at a big discount with the goal of keeping them for a long period of time is a simple strategy that can yield great returns. This is only a good idea if you have a lot of money to invest, but a recession may present an opportunity for those who do. Younger people, many of whom no prior experience with economic downturns, have a tendency to lose track of how things look back then. It's easy to forget about the tough times when the economy is booming and everything seems unbreakable. Being aware of and anticipating such times will put you in a far better position to deal with the loss of your portfolio's value, as well as allow you to benefit from absolutely amazing market bargains. People who don't plan ahead and hope for a perfect economy where their investment continue to rise steadily risk losing their homes and having significant issues in their families, among other things. There you have it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.